And good evening, good afternoon. What's going on? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Urban Impact Show. I am one of your hosts, Rob Johnson. Thank you. Let's take a moment real quick and ask everyone who is tuned in with us, if you don't mind, please take a moment and share this. We want to share this on today. The Urban Impact Show has taken an opportunity to discuss a lot in the past few weeks, but today we're going to talk about all things Black family. Now, what does that really mean? That means that we're going to dive into some topics that may seem a little uncomfortable sometimes. So, our goal is not to trigger anybody from any past trauma or drama experiences, but we are going to dive in it and have some real conversations and talk about some real stuff. So we ask that you please just be respectful in the comments. Please comment, throw out some questions, throw out some feedback. Let us know what you all think, and if there's anything that we may have missed, don't hesitate. Which I know some of y'all probably won't. I know some of y'all probably won't forget to comment because they gonna have something to say regardless.
Yes.
So with that being said, again, I'm one of your hosts, Rob Johnson, and I got two lovely ladies with me today. As you all know, we are changing how the Urban Impact Show is, and you're going to be seeing different hosts come up here. Shout out to our youth
Yes.
who
Yes.
who
Yes.
did their show.
Excited about
They
it.
will be coming back. They did their thing, so I'm excited. I know most of them are heading off to college, so you may see them in more of a virtual space as we do this show. But don't worry, we're coming back with them. With that being said, I'm gonna throw it over to my other co-host, Mr. Dwana Bradley.
Hello. I'm Dwana Bradley. Thank you for bringing me here to the Urban Impact Show. I'm enjoying everything that we're doing. I am the owner of Our Urban Media. We are now currently a part of the Urban Impact Show, along with the Urban Experience Magazine and Urban City Magazine as well. So make sure you support all the things that we're doing. I'm a mother of two lovely children. I might not say their names all the time, but they know who they are if they're watching. So I love doing that. I'm also chair of the school board right now for Des Moines Public Schools, and we are preparing for our kiddos to go back to school, along with serving as being the general chairperson for Iowa Juneteenth. And we will be talking more about Iowa Juneteenth 2022, and we are very excited about that. And I'm going to turn it over to a very special host that we have, Brittany.
Thank you. My name is Brittani Dudley. I am new to the Urban Impact Show. Really excited about.
At that moment, we should have had like fireworks.
I know, something that just went off. Ooh, yep.
You know how, like in the text messages, how people congratulate.
Yeah.
But I'm really, I'm really excited about being a part of this show, and we're going to bring you some good content. I currently am a part of another podcast show called Boss Friends with few of my close friends. So
The boss ladies.
That's right.
these ladies are actual business owners and actual bosses.
Wonderful.
So, but excited to be here, excited to talk about all things Black family, and let's go.
Yeah. Well, as y'all know, we dive into some stuff because I think our community we're in a place where it's like we've decided that talking about it is better. I feel like this is a lot different than when my mom was growing up because you didn't really discuss.
They couldn't talk about it so openly.
Yeah, no, you didn't discuss family business,
No,
right?
you didn't.
And earlier today, I threw out that topic in the text, and I'm gonna jump into that one, and then we're gonna jump into the other one, because I've noticed this generational shift, this switch, where and we're not trying to trigger anybody here, but we know that in the past there have been moments where there have been molestation that has taken place in families, and families have covered it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've covered it up. They've still allowed this individual to be around the kids and the family members. And as a matter of fact, somebody shared with me that they were still forced to hug this individual when they came around. Oh, don't be disrespectful. Get over there and hug such and such, right? Get over there and talk to such and such, knowing the situation. But now I'm reading articles almost every week about how some woman done snapped because somebody done did something to her kids. She ended up in jail for it.
I know. I just
saw
seen
that.
that.
Yeah, I saw
Like,
that article.
some guy or some family member molested the
Yep.
kids and she killed him.
She killed him. Yeah, and now she's in jail for murder. And so I'm like, man, like this is very interesting because our families have been like this
Yeah.
for years, right? And there is so much trauma that have been covered up, which has led to other family stuff, which is why family functions sometimes become awkward.
Oh, yeah.
People don't go.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be around
That's
Uncle
right.
Billy. You know?
Family reunions and all of this stuff, and so it pushes our families into positions, and then also people then turn to more other stuff,
Right.
and that other stuff then becomes their family.
Right.
Right. And so I just really wanted to get you all's thoughts on it. Like, where do you all think we are with this? Like, are we still trying to cover stuff up, or are people ready to say, hey, look, we done with this? D, I'll go to you first.
I don't think we're covering things up anymore. I think there was a time, like you said, we're not, okay? We're just not living in that day and time anymore. And I think that's just the shift as time goes on and we change and we evolve. It's just we have become a group of individuals now that are going to speak up, and we're going to call those people out. There's plenty of places around that are supporting those who have been molested or have endured any type of abuse, and I think it's because of those places that are giving us a voice to this. And I think now we're not taking it anymore. And I think also our families, our parents, our siblings are speaking up for us as well, knowing that the kind of trauma that endures. I've had people that I know very close to me who have been molested, who have experienced those things, and it's something that they carry with them for a lifetime, and they need advocates such as myself or any one of us to be able to bring light to that. There still is, though, I think, this small stigma of not bringing it up all the time because we don't know what people are going to say about it. If I come out and say I've been molested, or if this has gone on with me, what are people going to think of me? And so I think there are at times this does get a little still swept under the rug, but we all know who did it, and we all know what's going on in the family, and we all know why. It's our family business, but I think it does come out there when there's times for it to be spoke about. So I think we are speaking about it. I don't think we're no longer keeping it inside the household. We are definitely bringing it to light. What do you think?
I think we have a voice now. I think, I'll say our children, that era has a voice now compared to like back in the day. Think about it. If you can't tell your mom, the person that you're supposed to trust more, or your dad, that's tough. Like if they're telling you, hey, don't say anything, or, it's okay if uncle did this or did that. But I think now we have a voice, and I have conversations with my oldest son, like, you need to let me know. I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? Asking him, like, has anyone ever did, this or said this? Like, parents weren't having those type of conversations back then. And so I think now we have a voice, and I think now the kids see that we have a voice. So now they feel a little bit more open to have those conversations that we didn't back in the day, or our parents didn't.
Yeah, and I think that's important too, because I think I think there's a different way of raising your kids right now that I don't think I experienced when I was growing up. We didn't question mom and dad.
Right.
We just kind of went with the flow. And I know I'm the same way with my kids. It's like there's nothing you couldn't tell me that would make me change what I thought about you. That would make me treat you different. Whatever we need to handle, we're gonna handle as a family. We're gonna take care of it. And I think when you establish that kind of communication with your kids, it makes a huge difference. But I think that's just been the shift that has changed over the years.
So look at this, right? You have the older generation where it was eat what I tell you to eat, do what I tell you to do, but and fall in line, pretty much, right? And so then you have like us who are having kids, and those babies are now more vocal, and it's like, well, I don't want that, and it's like, okay, if you don't want that, then let's get you something else. It wasn't like that.
Because back in the day, grandma was like, if you don't eat that, you're not eating.
Exactly.
This is what I made, or you don't eat, right? And one thing I'm realizing with our babies is like we try to pretend like they don't have feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if the baby's one, baby's 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that baby got like
Right.
you are a full grown adult and you feel some
Right.
type of way about certain stuff. What makes you think this 1-year-old or
Right.
this 2-year-old isn't going to have?
Right.
Now our job is to teach them how to relay that in an appropriate
Right.
way, right? Which obviously they don't know, so they just act however
Right.
they want. Anybody dealing with a toddler now, I'm praying for you because
Oh
boy,
my gosh, that's me.
nobody makes you want to fight more than
Right.
than a toddler. Like,
That's me right now.
like, bruh,
Yeah.
like real talk. Do you want to fight today? Like,
Right now.
Like I can schedule you in my.
They test you more
Yeah.
than any of your older kids. Like my toddler, he tests us so like more, but it's their way of expressing. And now these kids now can express themselves before back in the day you weren't supposed to,
Right.
or maybe I won't say you weren't supposed to. We weren't taught how to.
Yeah.
And if you did try to express yourself, it was nah.
Not received.
Yeah.
Not received.
You're a kid, stand in kid's place.
That's right.
Place, go sit down, stop talking, right? And so one thing that I've realized with our families is that people have carried that into relationships.
Oh yeah.
Everything that happened with the family,
Yeah.
has carried. And then so you got two individuals who come together with complete, total different backgrounds,
Right.
trying to figure out how to raise kids together.
Yeah. And it doesn't come with a book.
And you dealing with your own past family stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that ain't how my mom did it, or that ain't how my dad did it, or my grandma did it this way, or my
Right.
uncle did it this way, right? It was, and so then we are realizing that they're taking all of this into another person's space, and that person is taking all of what they have into this other person's space, and it's like
Bumping heads.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
it's colliding, and honestly, I think, I read somewhere where it said 49% of people right now are being raised by single parents.
Yep.
Being raised by single parents.
But I think, it's because people aren't just taking anything now. Back in the day, grandpa might have had another family down the street.
Can we get off of it? I feel like every time we bring up
Grandpa, it's
Matt here.
Because
Shout out to Matt King, our sound engineer. Tell them stop bringing up grandpa like grandpa was that.
I'm
bad.
telling you,
You know?
it was grandpa.
Yeah.
Sorry, unfortunately, it was grandpa
Yeah.
because I believe this, and don't shoot me when I say this, okay? But I believe that women back then stood by their men,
Yeah.
knowing exactly what
What
they
was
were
going
doing
on.
and what
Yeah.
was going down. They stood there because that's the way that it was supposed to be.
and grandpa, sorry, Rob. Grandpa was
Grandpa's
the
got
breadwinner.
that back.
Now, in some households in 2021, the mom might be the breadwinner.
Right.
So, back then, if grandpa was the breadwinner, it's like you cook, clean, he's bringing in the money, so he can do whatever he want to do.
Let's not forget, I gotta point this out. It wasn't just grandpa. Grandma may have done something too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta,
But more times than not.
you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but not child.
Okay.
I'm just
That happened. That
But
happened.
just saying
you
that
know.
to say, that's how the dynamics were different back then, because we weren't taught to talk and express ourselves and be able to tell, because we didn't have the power at that, we weren't making money.
Right.
Look, all I got to say is grandpa lives matter.
Stop it.
That's all I got to say, because grandpa wasn't just a rolling stone.
Well.
If my sister Chrissy was on this show, Joppa, if she was on this show, she would mention the fact that grandpa had the money to do what he was doing. And nowadays you got folks trying to act like grandpa and do what grandpa did in a 2-income family. And it's like, it don't work.
Yeah.
It don't work like that no more. But it's like, come on, y'all, we gotta let Grandpa go, because Grandpa, he wasn't all that bad. And I know folks gonna start commenting.
He was the provider, but
But there was some things that
Yeah.
wasn't right. Let's just keep it
Yeah.
real. And I think that's where your shift, where you talk about there are more single parents today, and I
Yep.
think it does have a lot to do with that piece. Is I'll let y'all in a little bit, but that was for me. I wasn't going to continue to put up with someone who I didn't feel like was healthy
Yeah.
for my children,
Exactly.
because now I'm in a position where I'm responsible for two lives
Mm-hmm.
that depend on me to make the right decisions to give them the best life.
Mm-hmm.
And if that individual is not contributing to helping me do the things that I believe that I want to do and invest into my children, then I can do it better by myself.
I can do bad by myself if that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
Exactly.
I'd rather get out here and get 2 jobs and to support my kids.
Right.
And I think that's where things change, where it's single family homes now, because the women aren't dealing with it anymore.
Right.
Men are dealing with it.
Yeah, yeah. Both ways,
and
yeah.
But you hear
I
more
just want
about.
to point that out.
You do.
You know.
That's true. But you hear more about women.
Yeah.
We're not trying to gang up on you,
Yeah.
Rob, but I'm just saying, that's the way to
I
go.
want to talk about the men.
That's, I mean, and we love you, men.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love black men.
Hot girl summer.
And we love you, men.
Yeah.
But we love you, men. And I think there's something that you brought up too that is very important, though. How do you mesh those two things together? Because you do have, I've had people that I have been with in relationships, and I'm like, that's how y'all do things in your house.
Right.
Like, it's so different. And how do you make the differences come together so that you can create what works in y'all's household together? And I think that is very challenging because we're both bringing in that baggage. And how do we come together to make it work for our family so it doesn't look like, what it looked like as we were being raised?
How do we get back to the point of it being 2-parent households? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I grew up in a single family home, so it's so important to me to have the 2-parent households, where in America now that's not the norm.
So speaking on that point, technically are people still putting up with stuff because they do want?
It might be a little less than it was before, but I think some people naturally, I could speak for myself. When I had my first son, that was very much what it was. Just as like, because I had this thought in my head of like, I had a single family home, so I have to provide this for my son. I have to do 2-parent, household, no matter what's going on, to where it's like, you want your peace, but some people are holding on to that.
They are. See, and I was in reverse. I was raised in a 2-parent home, seeing have excellent parents, seeing how, marriage should work. They have been a great example for me. But I was the one becoming a single parent.
Yeah.
And that crushed me because I knew what I had growing up. And I wasn't able to provide that to my kids. But I also had to get to a point to where enough had to be enough.
Right.
And that took a long time for me to get to that point.
Probably
where I had
long
to say
because
enough.
of your kids.
Exactly.
I will say this to the from a male point of view. I do think it's hard. I do think it's hard to date us, at least right now. And what's going on, right? And I'm.
Why do you think that?
And I'm including me because, let me put it like this. There's a couple things. When you're dating someone who has a lot going on, who's doing a lot of stuff, right? There is some stuff that you gonna put up with that you may not want to, but you may stick it out.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. And I think also men, when looking for a family, right, they're looking for somebody who's going to be able to stick it out with them. Like, they know, and I can speak for myself. We know we messed up. We know it's not hard. It's not easy to date us. We know, like, we got some issues and some problems and some concerns and some things that you gonna have to deal with, some attitude and all of this other stuff, right? Like, we know this.
Yeah.
And I think men are looking for somebody who is like, all right, are you gonna stick through this with me and hang in there with me, or are you gonna throw in the towel like everybody else? And so then they go into that next relationship expecting her to throw in the towel after he, has a moment of vulnerability or or after he has a bad day or something like that. And so then men build these walls, and then it's hard to penetrate those walls, and then it comes off as if they are not emotionally available.
Yeah.
And women build those walls
Yeah, I was
too.
just gonna
Because
say
let
that.
me just tell you, I am that woman. So for all of y'all that's watching, I am that woman that builds those walls because of the things that I've endured, because of the fact that I've given my all in a relationship with the man and tried to get exactly what you're talking about, breaking through his walls so that we can create something. And when that doesn't happen, now I just revert back to building back my wall back
So
up.
you probably go into it like, well, let me, like, my foot's halfway in there because I don't want to put both of them in there because if it fails, I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah, no, I did.
But it's like, how do we get past that?
Exactly. How can I, and I think others too, y'all relating to me, can put 2 feet into that to be able to go into that. But for me, I bring all of that past hurt that I've endured.
I think we all do.
And it's challenging for me to be able to do that. Not only that, with all the various hats I wear and the things that I do, and, you know, being committed to so much and being kind of out there a lot. It takes someone that also can endure that too. Because I feel like sometimes my role is reversed where I'm not home all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not getting home until, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm not able to interact with the kids or do the things that I want to do. And so, but that's the life that I've chosen. But I think too, I put up those walls too. And I know there's other women that do the same.
I feel like now if you want a family, you're going to go through some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it's almost worse than this so-called grandpa y'all was talking about. That was
That's bothering you.
This so-called grandpa.
We're gonna have a part 2 show.
Right.
We
gotta peel back some layers to see why that makes you feel that way.
So-called grandpa y'all was talking about. And so I think nowadays, if you want a family, like it's going to require some real extra work. Yeah. And honestly, I don't think people want to put the work in. I think, people are like, look, families now look different, and I'm okay with it looking different. And I'm like, when I have my son, I want to make sure that it's a family environment. That it's a, it's like, how do we, and then people are still searching for that place to belong. Right? Like, man, I'm supposed to belong to this family. And it's like, man, and then I feel like the black sheep of the family that I'm supposed to belong to.
But I think that social media played the big part of that because you can see a perfect family, your eyes on Instagram. And so you see them hanging out, you see them, every Sunday we have Sunday dinner, we take family trips and vacation. You don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. You just know that. So it puts a lot of pressure on us, especially for single women or for single men to want to get this family dynamic. And you think like, I'm getting old. All my friends are married, everybody. Because that's what I'm going through right now. Like I've been in a relationship for a few years. I've been in 6 weddings since I graduated college. So it's like, it's almost like a rush. But it's like, I'd rather it be the right way or do it the right way than rush.
No, I completely and totally agree with that. And there is some type of. Oh, okay. All right. We're having a little technical difficulties. We're going to keep on moving though through the show. But I think that is true too, as you're talking about, that and the pressures that come with that of needing to be, but not wanting to settle as well, because you do have family members that are looking at you like, well, what you waiting on? You only getting older.
Or every time you come around, when y'all getting married? Or when
Yeah. Well, hey, let's take a quick break and we'll figure out what's happening on the tech side, and then we will be right back. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Urban Impact Show. We are talking about all things Black family. And look, I know I said this at the beginning. There may be some things that may be triggering, or we're not trying to bring up any past hurt, trauma, or drama. But what we are having are real conversations and talking about real issues that affect real people. We stay tuned with us. We'll be right back right after this short break. Thanks, y'all.
All right, welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where we are talking about all things Black family. We've been having a really great conversation. If you are just joining us, about all things Black family, and one of the questions I had put in our chat was talking about Black folks living together. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about where this came from. Uh, I never thought I would be living with my parents. It was one of those things that I fought against, independent woman making her own money, doing her own thing, but made a shift in the work that I'm doing now, which required me to make two choices: either be homeless or live with my parents. I chose to live with my parents because they were here. And but I struggled with that for a long time. Being a woman in her 40s, I did that in my mid 30s. And I'll tell you, it's something that I don't see myself never not doing again. Like, no matter what, rather we get the bigger house, I get the acreage or whatever it is, I'll always be taking care of my parents. And so I had myself, my kids, and my parents. We all live in a home together. And I asked this question because people in my neighborhood are doing the exact same thing. So we have a woman who, it's her parents, her kids, and her kids all in the house. I got another neighbor who it's the grandpa, it's the grandkids, and his daughters as well, the grandpa. So they are all living in the house together. And so it just made me think that other cultures do this, but it's something that you see that we don't normally do. And I know sometimes we say, oh, it's because we can't get along. But I think there's really a huge benefit to being able to live with your family, and there's something that we can get out of it. But just wanted to know what y'all's thoughts were about that. Okay, we're going to pause just for a moment, and we'll be back with you in just one moment. All right, welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where we have been talking about today all things Black family. We've been having a really great conversation about all things Black family, and one of the things that I brought up in our chat earlier today was talking about Black folks living together. And this was something that's very personal for me, as I live with both of my parents. My teenage son is there as well, along with my daughter. She was there before college. And it was something that I was very much against. I felt like it said something different about me because I was living with parents. You know how the whole thing goes with, oh, you still in your late 30s and your 40s and you still
like, no, it's not like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that, but it was, for me, I made some life decisions that required to do that. I put more pressure on myself than I think that needed to be done. But as I'm looking at the people in neighborhoods around me, they're doing the same things. They're not Black families that I'm seeing, but it's Latino families, and I'm even seeing whites and Caucasians doing this as well. And so just want to know what y'all think about families, Black families living together. I think there's a huge financial gain that comes from that as well. If we think about it in those terms, and that we could do more together than maybe on our own.
We're stronger together than separately. And I think that, like Asians do it all the time. When they move over to America, they are all open up a nail shop or whatever. Everybody lives together. You think about it financially. And I think for me is like, your parents can spend time with your children and see your children be raised and kind of enjoy each other together. I think it's an awesome idea. But I think it's just that stigma that we're worried about what people think. And then it's like, oh, she's moving in because she needs help. Like, no, why can't we all enjoy each other together,
Right.
and grow up together and grow together and help each other save. Or go get a big house. Go get a 5-6 bedroom house, maybe with a different wing. You don't even have to see each other if you don't want to, but it's like, why can't we all grow together and live together? Because, my mom, she lives 7 hours away from here, so she doesn't get to see her grandchildren often. So what if what if they were raised in the same house together and we all are experiencing life together? It doesn't have to mean I need help, so I'm moving there. It's like, no, I want us to all enjoy family together. Mexicans, Asians, they do it all the time.
So I think there's this notion of my house, my rules,
Right.
which I think then creates this moment of people who say, you know what, I gotta get out and get my house, my rules.
Right. Right.
Because, oh, now, Mom, you in my house. So now what I say go up in my
But if
house.
we all have good communication and lay down those boundaries very early on to where this is all of our houses, is no mom's house, my house, then it shouldn't be no problem, right?
So somebody said that in a home, there has to be one vision. Now everybody can be doing their own thing, but there can only be one vision.
Yeah.
Because if you got more than one vision, that's division. and so
I get that.
pun intended.
Yeah.
And so there has to be something, and I like what you said about laying ground rules.
Yeah.
And it can be tried. Now I am a big component of not putting kids out at 18.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not for telling them, oh, at 18 you need to get your own place. Like, we're sending kids into debt. We're sending kids into financial insecurities because for whatever reason we think that well, I had to do it, or I had to do this, or I had to do that. Yeah. And it's like, no, like why
are we doing that?
Any child of mine, it's okay to be home.
Right.
Now obviously there are rules at my house. Yes. You ain't gonna be able to just do whatever you want to do, right? And there's a respect factor too.
Yeah.
You got to be able to respect each other.
Right.
I have to respect you, even though you're my child. I still have to respect you as a grown adult.
Yes.
And understand that you are a grown adult. And I think sometimes parents think that because they're grown adult children are still with them, that they can make rules and they can do this. I don't come in my house at 2 a.m. Why? I'm grown.
But if we're all living together, but that's why I say you got to set rules and boundaries, because it shouldn't fall back into that, like, you're disrespecting me because you're coming in at 2. Like, if this is my house too, then I should be able to
communication.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
It's communication
we all
within the
struggle.
household.
Yeah.
We do. We do really struggle with that. And I think that's what it comes down to is communication within the household. And I just want to say clear, for you 18-year-olds, you can stay in the house, but you will be contributing to the house.
Absolutely.
So you ain't just staying for free.
I don't care if you're buying groceries.
Exactly.
You're paying
You're gonna get something.
the internet bill.
Right.
Or, like taking out the trash.
I just don't want to put children into financial insecurities that we don't have to.
Right.
Right. If you could stay here, save up your, save up whatever you gonna save up, and then we send you out into this world that really is a dangerous place. We send you out to this world to do some stuff, then I just want to make sure that you are fully prepared. Because at 18, you're not fully mature enough to grasp what's really out there. And there are some very manipulative people in this world.
Yeah.
And somebody can get a hold of the right person at the right time at a low place and manipulate them into a situation. And now we all trying to fight. I heard, what was it? Frederick Douglass, who said, I rather prepare boys than try to repair broken men. Right? And that's where I think we have to learn. So I agree. You gotta, I don't believe in putting kids out. Black families have to do it better. And imagine if all that money was coming into one place.
Yeah. How
and
great
we
life would
and we
be.
had trust with each other, and we had a fiscal manager.
Yes.
And we were able to say everybody got a car.
Yep.
Now we own this. Not only do we own this, but we own that, and we own that. And now we can go and do what we need to do. We've established what we needed to establish for all of what my sister Joppa says all the time. Rob, let's buy a building. Let's buy a building, and then we can own the building, and then we can rent out the apartments and all of this other stuff.
Right.
She's like, let's just buy a building, right? And I'm like, man, it's a good idea, because then when my niece or my kids or my nephew or whatever gets older, they can have a place to live,
Right.
and they can go to the building, right? They ain't gotta worry about financial debt.
Right.
So,
We got to start setting our kids up differently than we were. And like a lot of like the Caucasian community, the Asian community, they do this. They set their kids up, like they stay with me, you and your family. Stay with me for the first 4 or 5 years of your marriage. Save your money so that you can go pay cash for a house. So
Right.
you can go pay cash for a car. You know what I mean? Like, so we have to start making decisions like that and doing stuff like that.
now you had a question too that you wanted to throw in there, right?
Let's give some, like, I guess, a conversation around co-parenting. I think like in this day and age, co-parenting is obviously very important, but it's different, especially in our community. Like there's like a stigma of it being drama and us not being able to get along with our child's father,
Or they're sleeping together.
yeah, like and so it's like it's always been really important to me to try to show healthy co-parenting. And so me and my oldest son's dad have been co-parenting with him since he's 2 and he's 12 right now. And it hasn't always been like rainbows and
Right.
kittens at all, but it was always so important to me to not fall into that stigma of baby mama, baby daddy drama, because it's so unhealthy for the kid.
Right.
So it's like, how can we get, as a community, how can we get to a point to where co-parent, we do it right? You know what I mean? Like we can do it the right way to where it's not, because at the end of the day, you're hurting the child with any of the negativity as far as y'all relationship goes. So it's like, what is healthy co-parenting? What does it look like? And how can we like be a champion of that?
Yeah, I think it goes for communication. So my kid's father is no longer alive, and I think about these things. We wasted lots of years going back and forth with each other over what now is frivolous stuff. Rather it was whatever it was. And I think one of the things I will just be transparent for myself was sometimes the feelings got in the way.
That's exactly
that's exactly my feelings got in the way. Now I say I don't care about you no more,
But you do.
but then there's still something that's there sometimes, and those feelings got in the way. And then what happened is we couldn't co-parent because those feelings, rather it was for her or from him. And I think those are some of the things that happen. So I think for one thing, for effective co-parenting even take place, is we got to have this conversation about we are completely and totally done with each other.
You have to be done.
That we are not, there's no just come around one night, oh, I need a place to sit. No, we are completely done.
We're just
and
parents.
I think when you establish those things and talk about what does disagreement look like, how are we going to handle things when we have a disagreement over something that comes to our child? I think when you establish those things early on, get the feelings out of the way, have those conversations, then I think you can co-parent well. But then also when y'all start seeing other people, I think it's important to bring them in that mix too, so they understand these are the things that we've established and this is what we do.
But it's also, I think you got people out here who want control.
That's the number one, because that was always our issue.
You got people out here who want control, and you got some women who are like, well, if you have my child, then you're gonna do it the way I want it done. And he's like, no, I don't agree with that. So when they're at my house, we're gonna do it my way, and then when they're at your house, you can do it your way. And then you got some guys who is like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, whether or not she likes it or not. And then that becomes very unhealthy because then the child feels like, well, if they don't like something at mom's house, then they can just go to dad's house. Or if they don't like something at dad's house, they can just go to mom's house, right? And so perfect example, my niece and my nephew, Sheldon will get in trouble with Joppa, and the first thing out of his mouth is call my uncle. Right?
Like you're gonna come in and change it.
Change it all.
Right. The first words I shut his mouth when he gets in trouble, call my uncle. Because Chrissy's like, I told you, don't be doing this. You're in trouble. Oh, I'm in trouble? Call my uncle.
He's gonna fix it.
Call my uncle. I'm going to Uncle Rob's house. I'm out of here. Call him so he can come pick me up. Right? And then, and me, like a sucker, I'm going on over there to pick him up. But then when he gets to my house, I have to remind him, all right, now you over here, you still in trouble.
Right.
Right? There ain't gonna be no, I'm gonna leave my house so I'm no longer in trouble. But I go to Uncle Rob's house and now I'm in the clear. Nah,
Kids
bro.
know how to play us.
Of course.
My son used to do that too. He would do the back and forth, like, oh, I'm mad at mom, I'm gonna go to my dad's house. Or I'm mad at dad, I'm gonna go to my mom's house. And it's like, as far as healthy co-parenting, some things that I heard from us discussing is just kind of like respect. And like it needs to, the power, you need to push, like we need to not just focus on, I want to win. Right. Or, power, like it needs to be stability between the kids. So like if you go to sleep at 9 o'clock at mom's house, you need to go to sleep at 9 o'clock at dad's house. If you do this at mom's house, you need to do this at dad's. It needs to align, but you got to come from a place of like being respectful.
Yeah. So what about child support? So if he's paying child support, is that good co-parenting, even though he may feel some type of way about it?
So the way I feel and the way we run ours is like, you should split things 50-50. I've never been a woman of like, well, you make more because he makes way more than me, so you need to pay me more. It's like, no, you need to just pay half of what they're responsible for your child. You don't need to pay my rent. I need to provide for myself, and my child.
Some hot girl summers is going to be on here disagreeing.
Yeah, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion, and that's where we have gotten to. Some women use child support as an anger tactic, or like, oh well, I'm mad at you, I'm filing child support. It's like, if he's financially taking care of his kid and we have him 50-50, if you have a schedule and you guys are splitting the kid, what do you need child support for? If he's already helping or paying half,
Yeah, that child support thing, don't get me started. That's a whole nother show we need. I'm going to tell you this right now because this is the way that I feel. The system is not set up to help men at all when it comes to child support. Let me just be very clear about this.
And it push men out of the household.
Yeah. Yes, and it does. And men aren't even able to have what they should be able to have because we're more concerned about getting the money. So now the man's got to go get this little studio apartment because you can't get anything more because now the judge is taking everything that they've got and the child support system needs to change. I'm looking straight in the camera to say that because the child support system needs to change. It is not set up to help men. I get taking care of kids. I think men should take care of their kids. But if we can come to an agreement without involving the system in our business, then let's do that and be able to do that. But the minute you interject that judge and that judge says this and they start looking at all your financials, we are now in a world of trouble. So I do believe that the child support system needs to change.
Hot girl summer culture.
I'm not going to have statements after saying all this.
Hot girl summer culture says that if he don't do what you say do,
I'm gonna put him on child support.
or if he don't act the way you want him to act, or if he talking to somebody you don't like, then I'm going to threaten you. It's being used as a weapon.
Yeah.
It's not being used to help the children.
What it is. Yep.
Right? And that right there is hurting families as a whole.
Yep.
Right? This
man
is now married to a whole nother woman, and now her income is going towards trying to pay some of his child support. And it's like, come on, man, we got to do a better job. But also, we got to remember, like Matt said during the break, the crack epidemic, the welfare situation pushed men out of the household, and now we have this whole thing of people talking about men ain't there for their children, men don't want to take care of their kids. And I can tell you, all of the guys that I hang with, my friends, they all take care of their kids. I was talking to my homeboy Dominique Davidson, and he was like, Rob, like men who are really taking care of their kids and who have a family, the system ain't built to help them. The system ain't built to help. Married couples are getting raped right now. You know, with like there is no help for married couples. None.
So it's like they promote singleness. They don't promote marriage and families, and and it's sad too for the dads who really want to be a part of their kids' life, really want to be a good dad.
Yep.
And then it's like you have an angry woman that's like, if you're not doing it my way, then you're not doing it at all, type of thing, and that sucks for like good dads.
It does, because most men want to be in their children's lives, but I still feel like the system puts things in place that prevents that.
Yeah.
Or it's the situation of not getting along, or someone's hanging something over over someone's heads, and I think those are the things that need to stop. And I will say that men have it hard when it comes to these types of issues, because normally what happens is it's the woman who gets the whatever. When the judge is ruling, the judge is going to rule in the woman's favor. And then guess what? Now you've got a man who is trying to figure out how to do things, or one can't spend time with their children because now they're working 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to maintain that child support. And then don't get back behind on the child support, because then they're going to send you to jail. And then guess what? You go to jail, and then you owe more money when you get out of jail, because they charge you every day that you're in jail. So this system is not setting it up to where we're promoting these things. And then I think it's the same thing in reverse. My one issue with the welfare system was it would never allow me to get ahead. So when I'm on welfare, why do I stay on welfare? Because if I make a penny over it, then they're going to pull everything from me. There's nothing that allows me to be able to make it.
No gradual process, right?
Exactly.
There's no system in place that says, all right, if you're on welfare, as a family, it's okay to have a family, to have a man and a woman, and you all work. All right, now that you've worked here, we've helped you with an apartment. Now our next goal is to get you into home ownership. Our next goal, if you want to open up a business, you're on welfare. Okay, now you've reached a level. Now you've graduated from welfare. Here's another program that that we're going to help with your small business.
Right.
Now you're done with all of that. You're ready to go. And none of that is established because this system was built, and I'm going to say it, for white male landowners. That's why they were the only ones able to vote when voting was legal. Women couldn't even vote.
Nope.
And it was built for white male, and it wasn't enough. I heard Deidre this year say it wasn't enough just to be a white man. You also had to be a landowner, right? And so look at where we are right now, right? And so the black family structure has been attacked and destroyed for years.
From day one. What did Tupac say? We're not here to survive. This is a setup.
And it was all built in policy. This is my thing. Please hear me clearly on this, y'all. For those who are gonna watch this later, we gotta stop attacking each other, and we gotta start attacking the policies, because it is a policy that rules what is happening. You want welfare to change, you gotta go change the welfare policy. You want this whole child support thing to change, you got, no matter how much you complain, if the rule and the policy don't change, it's gonna stay the same. And guess who controls policy? Those who we vote for.
That's right. That's right. No, you're absolutely right, and that's where I'm at. I know the power of the change comes within the policy. It's every system that needs to change, because the systems weren't set up for our success. Could you imagine what happens if we didn't need welfare anymore? They are thriving off of the things that we need because they know that we need it. But as long as these systems and policies are in place, we're going to continue to have these conversations, which is why it is so important that we vote. I know that's another discussion that we can have at another time, but it's important for us to be out there to vote. There is power in that vote that we don't take a lot of time to talk about. But imagine if every single one of us who was eligible to vote did that and could be a part of making those policy changes. We would see something dynamic. But what we're doing is we're waiting on 1 or 2 folks to go do all the work to make the change.
Or we say, you know what, it don't affect me.
Right.
Right. Nothing they do will affect. But in all honesty, if you get up in the morning and turn on water, who you vote for has affected you.
Yep.
Because your water quality is determined by a policy that's in place by those who you vote for.
Right.
If you wake up and breathe the air quality that you're breathing, the toxins that are allowed in the air is controlled by an environmental policy that is controlled by those who you vote for.
Yeah.
So literally, if you say voting doesn't affect you,
It
does.
If you wait,
Educate yourself.
even when you're dead, in order for us to bury you, there's a policy around burials. There's a policy on what to do with the body.
Yes.
And that's determined by who you vote for. So our families, we have to make sure that we're looking out for our families. I know we've reached the end of our show. I do want to throw it to Brittani, then go to Dwana for final thoughts on this, kind of where you want to leave the people at. And Brittani, we'll start to you with final thoughts.
I mean, I think that, like you said, Black families are important. So I think as much as we can now embrace that and embrace us living in a big household with our whole family so that we can all reach financial, clear our finances and save money. But just, I focus a lot on, like, I want to show my kids a family. I'm going to show my kids a family. And I'm going to focus on, Black love, Black family. And yeah.
Dwana?
I think that it just, with the Black family, it's just, we got to do better. We can't never think that we've arrived.
Yep.
When it comes to the Black family, we need to continue to do work. We need to continue to grow together. We need to continue to call out the things that aren't right within our family. Mm-hmm. We don't need to keep things secret no more. We need to handle those things that have gone on in our family. We need to find ways to make our families grow so that we can prosper and succeed. And rather it's being business owners, we're working for someone, but where we are putting our money within each other to help and elevate each other.
Yes.
I think that's very important in our Black family. And we also need to educate our children, raising them to be business owners, raising them to be, whomever it is that they want to be, but making sure that we instill that in them and love on them while we have the opportunity to do so, but really just nurture our children and help them in any way. But I love the Black family, raising the Black family. There's still more we need to talk about concerning the Black family, because I ain't talked about life insurance and health insurance and all these other things concerning the Black family. That'll be a part two. Mm-hmm. But I really think that, we are doing things different than maybe our parents and grandparents have done. But we are doing things in a way that I will make an impact to where some of those things they were fighting for will eventually become a reality.
That's good.
So here we are at the close of this show, and we want to thank you for your time. I never take it lightly when someone takes time out of their day, out of their schedule to spend with us.
Thank you.
You don't have to watch this show, but we appreciate every second, every click, every share, every like, every love, every comment that you leave and that you participate with us, because this show is really not about us that are sitting here, but it's about us as a collective, as a whole.
Yes.
And we understand that our community is bigger than Black folks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We understand that, that there are issues and things that are facing other communities. And we invite you to come on and we can discuss those things. Right now, we are in this series of All Things Black because there is a major shift on what's going on right now. And we don't want to miss this shift while it's happening.
Yes.
So thank you so much for tuning in. We've done all things Black men, all things Black women, all things Black youth, and now we've just done all things Black family. Next up, because our youth came, the elders want to come and give their piece. Because let me tell you,
Grandpa's coming.
Grandpa, the one that y'all been talking about.
I want to hear from Grandpa. I got some questions.
And he gonna keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna talk about him no more. Right? And so they will be coming next week, talking about all things Black elders.
Nice.
They're going to respond to some of the youth comments about how the elders handled some of the stuff in our community back in the day and even today, and how sometimes they have to allow the youth to lead in certain areas. Right after that, we're going to be talking about all Black everything. We're going to be talking about mental health, financial, and all of this other stuff that comes with that. And then, of course, August 22nd, we're going to be live at the Back to School Bash that is at the Grub
Yes.
YMCA from 2 to 5. And that show will be hosted by our youth.
Yes.
Not only that,
Awesome.
but but then we also have, I want to make sure that I get this right and that I don't that I don't mess this up. So we have the Sister Soul Fest.
Oh yes, that was amazing
Sunday.
last year.
Sunday, August 29th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is going to be at Evelyn K. Davis Park. I know some people thought it was going to be a union, but no, it's at Evelyn K. Davis Park. Starts at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's all Black women-owned businesses
Awesome, yes.
that are the vendors. So please go out and support them. Sister Girl Talk has been a very impactful group in the community for the last 2 years. They have they have journeyed through talking about stuff with healing one another, providing monthly meetings, emotional relief, and an opportunity just for care and support with each other. So let's go out and support them
Yes.
on August 29th. Then on August 30th, your boy is featured. I don't know if we can. Which one? Which one?
that
Matt? Which
out.
one? This one. Your boy is featured with the Interfaith Alliance as one of the keynote speakers
Nice.
for one of the largest interfaith gatherings in the state.
I know that's right,
And
Rob.
so if you got this in the mail, shout out to you. Thank you so much for looking at it, and shout out to Connie Ryan and Interfaith Community for inviting us to be there to have some real conversation and to really talk about what's going on, because we need our predominantly white congregations are going to have to understand what is happening in communities that don't look like them, and this is a major opportunity for us to reach a lot of them. And so we're super excited. Don't forget, September is coming around the corner as well. We're going to have some more announcements about that. But all things Black family, that's a wrap. We love you. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.